I've got a drill that's going to free up your chest, speed up your hip action and make you strike the ball like never before. Hip turn and shoulder rotation through strike will ultimately give you more club speed and better ball striking. When we're hitting the golf ball, we've all seen the best players in the world with open hips, the chest open through strike. Now, you may be a golfer that believes that the chest needs to be shut because you're trying to get the club from the inside. Now, if you've watched enough of my content, you will understand that this is absolute garbage. We need to feel that the lower half and the chest are opening up to deliver down strike, to deliver a good path and a club face alignment. So do go check out my club path and my angle of attack videos to find out more. And if you haven't seen them, the broom videos are pretty spectacular too. Today I want to give you a drill that is going to make you feel like you can use your lower half to allow your chest to open up through strike and hit those pressured golf shots that hits the ball fairly straight. We've always believed that the right shoulder should not move. And the trouble with that, if the right shoulder does not move, we don't enable this hand to stay down underneath the chest so that we can create that angle of attack that we're all looking for. So if you've been a golfer that has tried to hold the shoulder back and create shaft lean, it's always ended pretty badly. The facilitator in moving this right shoulder around the golf ball to create that pressure on the ball is the left hip. Now, we can think of the hip action in two ways. We can think of the right hip coming forwards, or we can think of the left hip going backwards. The lower half ultimately will give you mobility through the chest. Where we've thought about trying to open our hips up and keep our shoulders back, as I say, that's a bit of a blocker of movement. Therefore, the lower half, the left leg, in this case, is really going to mobilize that right shoulder. Because the more I get that left hip back, the more I can get that right shoulder forwards. Now we can see that the club handle going to the left really starts to line up the path. But not only that, line up the club face. Look at how much that club head traveled from the inside at 4 degrees. I hit down at 3.6 and I had a face that was close to the path, a draw ball flight, because the right shoulder allowed my right hand to move to the left. I've got a drill that is going to give you all of those sensations in a pretty surefire way. If you've watched enough of my content, you will know that I like to use household objects that give you the best opportunity to work on your golf game. So the box is back out. I've got myself a broken shaft, and it doesn't need to be a broken shaft, and I'm going to stab that box and prop that shaft up. Now what I'm going to get you to do is to set yourself up. Now this shaft wants to be in line with your left heel, ideally. Then take the club, this alignment stick, take it into your fingers, pull it into your belt line, and use your thumb, sorry to show you my derriere, put your thumbs around your belt so you can pull it in. The reason why we want that is because we don't want the right hand to be able to activate the alignment stick. And then what we're going to get you to do is we're going to get you to make some back swings. Now, if you've seen my leg action videos, you'll understand how the feet in my world like to work. Going to create some force to get that hip action open. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start to use that left foot to start to open my left hip up. So I'm pushing my left hip back behind my left foot there. And at that point, can you see how my lower half is starting to open up? But not only that, my right shoulder is starting to move around. And then what I'm going to get you to do is to try to hit the cane or the golf club that's posted into that box there as I move through. So we see that the left leg that's pushing back actually starts to accelerate the right side forwards. So at strike, I could have both feet flat on the floor. The momentum of the left hip moving back accelerates the right shoulder and the right hip forwards to strike the club shaft in the box. So we use right foot, we push back with the left foot, and we crash into the posted up club shaft. And what we're doing is we're taking the upper body out of the equation here in terms of creating the speed. But what you'll feel soon enough is the right shoulder really starts to create some speed. And if you can see, I feel like I'm dancing around with my feet. I'm going to push, 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 push with my right, push onto my left, push off my right onto my left. And then as I push onto my left, I can push back onto my right. So there's really sideways motion, which is force going in the opposite direction. I'm trying to move my upper body. So push into my left, and now I'm going to push into my right, which then allows me to spin my upper body around. A cracking drill for lower half activation and chest activation. Let's get a club in the hand and let's see how that goes. So I've now got the club back in my hand and I'm going to start to really feel how that footwork is behaving. I'm going to start with put the ball, even though I've got myself a 5-iron here, I'm going to put the ball in line with my left heel, because what I want to do is really feel like my left hip and right hip can start to pull me through the golf shot. So ball on my left heel, going to set myself up in my usual way, and then I'm going to really start to feel how my right hip can chase up to the golf ball. So I feel how my left hip moves back. I can feel how my right shoulder comes forwards. And you can see in that particular shot, because I had the golf ball so far forwards in my stance, which encouraged the right hip to get forwards, because if I put my ball back in my stance, let's say for those of you that could be sneakily back in your stance, and I want to cover off those people, because people that think that their ball's in the right spot can often be too far back if they're battling with downstrike. I want to, if I was to do exactly the same swing and trying to get that right hip feeling like it's forwards and the left hip back, it would feel like the golf ball would not be caught particularly well. So getting that golf ball on the left heel just gives you the opportunity to sense what we were just feeling with that club. And that. Are you tired of paying too much for premium leather golf gloves? Do go over and check out gxgolfgloves.com. These are premium Cabretta leather golf gloves at a fraction of the price. Trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Do go head over and use my code GOODCOACHING for 10% off your next order. Pain, and there's that right hip really driving forwards, hip tucked back, right shoulder over. For those of you that are keen-eyed, you will see that the path was exactly the same on both shots. The only difference was the face-to-path value was different. The first one was 2 degrees open, the second one was 2 degrees shut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Now put the golf ball back in the usual position, and I'm going to now sense exactly the same sensations that that drill has just given me. And all of a sudden, the path starts to square itself up a little bit more, and my path was back from the inside at 1.2. So the understanding that the left leg, right shoulder really start to move me around and allows the path to be from the inside with the squaring face is crucial. But this left leg, right shoulder movement allows a golfer to move around the golf ball and really create the speed down at strike that we're all looking for, that frees up your motion. If your golf ball's then going offline with too much bend, you might want to go check out your golf grip, and you obviously know the grip series is there for you to use. I think you'll find that's good coaching.